Hello all, welcome back to the course on DSP Algorithms and Architecture. In the last lecture, we have seen the instruction set of TMS processor and along with some multiplication instructions pertaining to TMS processor. Continuing further in today's class, let us try to write some sample programs on TMS processors. Okay? In order to write the sample programs, the two things are essential. One is addressing modes and the second one is instruction set. With this knowledge of addressing mode and instruction set, one can write the sample programs of TMS programs. Okay? The program statement is write a program to find the sum of a series of signed numbers stored at successive memory locations in the data memory and place the result in the accumulator. Here the aim is to write a program to fulfill the condition of to find sum of series of numbers, that too signed numbers. We are handling signed numbers. We are adding a series of signed numbers that are stored in successive memory locations pertaining to data memory, and after computing the sum we have to store the result in the accumulator A. In order to do so, now let us think how to write the program with respect to starting from an expression. Okay? The solution is, first we need to express this problem statement in terms of an expression. Then let us try to write the program with some requirements. Okay? I can write, I have to store the result in accumulator. For that purpose, A is equal to summation of I is equal to, I am taking the memory location starting from 410H up to 400FH. I am considering 16 memory locations. I am going to add data of 16 data stored in successive memory location starting from 410H to 41FH. Okay? With respect to DMAD of I. DMAD refers to data memory address. Of I refers to the, I is pointing to the memory location from 410H to 41FH. If I further expand this expression, I am going to get A is equal to DMAD of 410H plus DMAD of 411H plus so on up to DMAD of 41FH. I am trying to add the data residing in the data memory address 4110H with the data residing in 411H with respect to data memory address and so on till DMAD of 41FH. If I look into this expression, two things are required. One is the auxiliary register to point to the memory location from 410 to 41FH in order to point from 410H to 41FH. Including 410 and 41FH, these two memory locations, I am having 16 memory locations. I am having 16 memory locations. In hexadecimal, the value 16 is denoted in terms of 10H. 10H implies 16 in decimal. Okay, now what is this? This value is count. How many locations are there? How many data has to be added? How many data? 16 data. The 16 data is expressed in terms of 10H in hexadecimal. In order to point the counter, we need one more auxiliary register. One auxiliary register to keep track of the memory location starting from 410 to 41FH. Another auxiliary register is required to initiate the count value. I can take AR2 for pointing from 410 to 41FH, and I can take AR3 to store the initial count value, that is 10H. With this requirement, now let us try to write the program, and then we can see how that program is executed in step by step. This is the code to execute the program. In this code, the first 3 lines are the header files, okay, and the logic starts from this instruction onwards. The first instruction is we have to initialize the value of 410H, that is the first memory location. In order to point from 410, we are making use of a auxiliary register AR2. STM hash 410H comma AR2. That means what? STM refers to store immediate value into memory register. We are going to store an immediate data, that is 410H, into the memory map register AR2. With this, we are going to initialize AR2 will be 410H, initialize memory location, starting from 4. The first data is with respect to 410H memory location. Next, we need to initialize the value of the count. STM, that is with respect to store immediate value 10H into the memory map register AR3. Because we need to perform 16 addition. We have to add 16 data elements which are storing in data memory address. Then AR3 will be loaded with 10H, that is 16 in terms of decimal. The count value you can write as count value. The next instruction is LD hash 0H comma A. That means initially we are loading the accumulator value as 0. Before execution, we don't have the proper answer, or the answer is not yet been computed. For that purpose, we are making accumulator equal to 0. Then addition operation starts from this instruction. Add star AR1, sorry, here it has to be AR2 because I have considered AR2 here, and this has to be become AR3. Okay. Add star AR2 plus comma A. That means here we can see indirect addressing mode is coming into picture with respect to post increment operation. What happens with respect to this instruction? We are trying to add the contents of 410H with the accumulator value, that is we have taken 0H. That means the contents of 410H is 11. 11 plus 0, that is equal to 11H. And the answer is stored in accumulator. Now A is having 11H. Before execution, A was having 0H. Now A is being stored with the value of 11H. After that, the post increment operation comes into picture. Now after execution, after the addition operation, AR2 will be updated. What was the value, initial value of AR2? AR2 was equal to 410H. After execution of add instruction, AR2 turns to 411H because of post increment. Okay. BANZ stands for branch on auxiliary register not equal to 0 with respect to the target address start. Which is the target address start? We have to come back to here if the condition is not met. branch if auxiliary register not equal to 0. That means what? In this instruction what happens? AR3 minus. Now before execution AR3 was equal to 10H. After the instruction branch BANZ start, AR3 will be equal to 10H minus 1, that is equal to 0FH. 10H minus 1 is equal to 0FH. It is decremented by one step. Now the question is 0FH is equal to 0? No. 0FH is not equal to 0. If it is not equal to 0, it has to branch to the target address here. Here branch if auxiliary register not equal to 0. Which is the auxiliary register here? The auxiliary register is AR3. The contents of the auxiliary register is not equal to 0. Hence we have to branch to the target address, that is start. So still 15 more iterations are to be computed. Like that, every time it adds and increments the value from 411 to 412 and so on. Simultaneously, the count value which was initialized to 10H will be decrementing in stepwise. Once the value stored in the AR3 becomes equal to 0, then what happens? This condition is not met. Branch if not equal to 0 with respect to auxiliary register. If the last cycle was 1, 1 minus 1 turns to 0, it is equal to 0, then it has to execute the next instruction, indicating all the 16 data are added successfully and stored in accumulator. And the next instruction is NOP. NOP stands for no operation. There are no operation further. And next instruction is end. That indicates end of the program. Like this, we are going to add the data which are stored in 4110H to 41FH, and we are storing the result in accumulator with the help of the auxiliary register AR2 and AR3. Okay. Now let us try to work out the second program, that is write a program to compute the sum of three product terms given by the equation y of n is equal to h0 into x of n plus h1 into x of n minus 1 plus h2 into x of n minus 2. By looking into this equation, we can come to the conclusion that the output y of n is computed with respect to computing the two operations. One is you have to perform multiplication operation in order to get the product of h0 into x of n, multiplication operation, and after computing the product of h0 into x of n, what we are supposed to do? We have to add that product with respect to the next product. For that purpose, you have to use addition operation. Addition, multiplication and addition are the two arithmetic operations are involved in this program. Here, as it is mentioned in the problem, we need to compute the three product terms and we have to add them together, then stored in y of n. Okay. In order to do so, let us think that the h0, h1 and h2 all are coefficients. All these three coefficients are stored in successive memory locations, okay, for the sake of simplicity. And x of n, x of n minus 1, x of n minus 2, these three are the data samples. And these three data samples are stored in another successive memory locations. That means apart from the memory locations associated for coefficients. For example, if I store these three values in starting from 313H, I can start to store x of n from 413H. 313, 314, 315 for coefficients, successive memory locations, and 413, 414, 415 for the data sample location. And after computing, we can store the result in 416 or in 316. In either of the memory location, we can store the computed result. Now let us try to write the program. Okay. Now let us analyze the program. I am not going to write the header files. I am directly starting from the starting label, that is _C_int00. The first instruction is SSB SXM. I forgot to mention this instruction in the previous program. It is better to incorporate this instruction after loading the 0 value into accumulator, because we are handling signed numbers. In this case also we are handling signed numbers. In the previous case also we are handling, or we are performing the addition of signed numbers. For that purpose, SSB SXM, this instruction is required. SSB SXM indicates select sign bit extension mode. Select sign bit extension mode. This instruction is mandatory to use for handling signed numbers. And the next instruction is STM#313H, AR1. As I said before, in order to store the coefficient value, that is H0, H1 and H2 in successive memory location, we are making use of the starting memory address as 313H and with respect to the auxiliary register AR1. Now AR1 is pointing to 313 in order to store the coefficient value. You can write AR1 is pointing to coefficients starting from the address 313H. Store immediate value 313H into auxiliary register AR1. AR1 will be having the first address as 313H. Inside that there will be one data. Next, similarly we have to assign a pointer in order to keep track of the data samples x of n, x of n-1 and x of n-2. For that purpose, we have to write the instruction STM#413H, AR2. Here AR2 is keeping track of data samples starting from the address 413, 414 and 415H. Starting from 413H. Coefficients H0, H1, H2 with respect to AR1 and x of n to x of n-2 with respect to AR2. Next process is to perform the multiplication operation. In the equation, we have to first compute h of 0 into x of n. For that purpose, we have to make use of the instruction MPY star AR1 plus, star AR2 plus, and store the result in accumulator A. We are going to multiply the contents of H0. This implies A is equal to H0, sorry, I can write H0 is multiplied with x of n. The product H0 is stored in AR1 is multiplied with the x of n, that is stored in 413. Contents of 313 H is multiplied with contents of 413. We can assume any value in 313 and 413, and the result is stored in accumulator A. After multiplication operation, then the AR1 and AR2 will be updated because of post increment. After performing the multiplication operation, AR1 is updated to 314H and AR2 is updated to 414H after execution. Next, multiply star AR1 plus comma star AR2 plus comma B. This implies what? We have to take the second product. We have to take the second product and then we have to store that second product in accumulator B. This implies what? This implies B is equal to H1 into X of n minus 1. B is equal to H1 into X of n minus 1. The product is computed with respect to multiplication instruction. That means contents of 314H is multiplied with contents of 414H and the product is stored in accumulator B. Now we have computed product of two terms. One is with respect to H0 into X of n and the next one is H1 into X of n minus 1. After computing the product, next we have to add those two product by using the instruction add A comma B. A comma B implies what? B is the destination operand. That means after performing the addition operation, that means B will be stored with H1 into X of n minus 1 plus the previously computed answer, that is with respect to A, that is H0 into X of n. This can be otherwise written as H0 into X of n plus H1 into X of n minus 1. Both are one and the same. Now we are left out with the computation of the third product, that is H2 into X of n minus 2. For that purpose, we have to once again use the multiplication operation MPY star AR1 plus. Earlier the AR1 was pointing to 414. After multiplication operation, that has been updated to 415H. Okay. Now the contents of 415H will be multiplied with the contents of 315H. 315 with 415. Now these two contents are multiplied and stored in the accumulator B. We can't store the result in accumulator B. After computing the product, the result is the multiplied product is stored in accumulator A. We can't store in B. Why? Because in B already we have the computed answer, that is this one, H0 into X of n plus H1 into X of n minus 1. If you store in B, what happens? The result will be overwritten. That means the previously computed result will be lost. In order to overcome that, for that purpose we are going to store the result in A. That means A will be stored with respect to H2 into X of n minus with the location 315 into 415. Now the product is stored in accumulator A. Next, you have to use the add instruction, add A comma B. Add A comma B means what? Already B is having this much of answer. Now we are going to add the A value, that is H2 into X of n minus 2 with this B, and thus B will be equal to H0 into X of n plus H1 into X of n minus 1 plus H2 into X of n minus 2. The final answer is stored in B. Add A comma B. B is stored with respect to this answer. Next, we know that this value will be large enough. That means that value will not be incorporated with respect to 16-bit width. It will be more than 16-bit. Keeping that in mind, the sum of the product is above 16-bit and it may be in between 16 to 32-bit. The sum of the product will be almost equal to 32-bit. We can store that 32-bit answer in two parts, okay, with respect to lower world result and higher world result. That 32-bit result will be stored in terms of two 16-bit values. Two 16-bit values. For that purpose, we have written store the lower part of the B register with respect to AR2 plus. That means earlier the AR2 was pointing to 415, okay. 415 with respect to multiplication operation. After completing the multiplication operation, 415 will be updated to 416H. In 416H, we are going to store the lower part of the result, okay, and the higher part of the result will be stored with respect to the instruction store higher value of B with respect to star AR2 plus. That means in 417H we are going to store the higher part of the result. I can write 416H is equal to lower part of L part of B, higher part of 417H, higher part of B. Like this we have stored the 32-bit product or the 32-bit result in two parts with respect to one in memory location 416H and the other one in 417H. These two memory locations are also successive memory location. After that there is no operation and the last instruction is end. Like this we have written the program in order to compute the sum of three products by making use of indirect addressing mode. Next, let us try to solve the same problem with respect to MAC instruction. Now let us see how the same computation of sum of three products can be stored in the accumulator by making use of MAC and repeat instruction. For the sake of simplicity, we have used MAC and repeat instruction. Now let us see how the program can be optimized compared to the previous case. Here we have to notice one thing, the input and output are same, but the thing is in the previous case there was some sort of complexity involved. That means more number of instructions were taking part. But in this case we have optimized to a greater extent such that the number of instructions associated are less. Thereby optimization of the code is achieved in this case. Now let us see how the same is achieved in this program. As usual, it starts from the label SSBX, select sign bit extension mode because of sign numbers. While handling sign numbers, this instruction is mandatory to use. Followed by STM #313H, AR1. This is as usual in the previous case. We need a pointer to point the coefficient value H0, H1 and H2. For that purpose we are making use of this instruction store immediate value 313H, AR1. Similarly for data samples, the second instruction, that is STM #413H, AR2, the second register is AR2. And here we are intended to store the result, that is y of n, in accumulator A. In the last case we have stored the result in the accumulator B. Here rather than storing the result in the accumulator B, we are storing the result in accumulator A. For that purpose we are making the accumulator 0 in the very first step by making use of the instruction load immediate value 0H, A. That means we are loading a immediate value 0 is in accumulator A. We are initializing A to 0 in the very beginning. Okay. Next, we know that repeat instruction is used to simplify the program. repeat instruction will be used in prior to the MAC instruction or any of the instruction, indicating the following instruction of the RPT will be executed n plus 1 number of times. Here, what is the value of n? N is equal to 2. This MAC operation instruction, that is MAC star AR1 plus comma star AR2 plus comma A, will be executed 2 plus 1, that is 3 times. 3 times continuously. This was not in the case of the previous example, because there we have not used the repeat instruction. In order to execute this instruction, that is in order to execute this instruction 3 times continuously, because we have to compute 3 products, that is H0 x of n, H1 x of n minus 1, H2 into x of n minus 2, we need to load the repeat value prior to this instruction by using RPT hash 2. The count is 2, but the following instruction will be executed 2 plus 1 times, that is 3 times. Successfully, the product is computed by making use of single instruction. In the previous case, we have seen we have make use of 3 multiply instruction, 3 multiplication instructions and 2 add instructions. Okay, that is not the case in this program. After computation, ultimately the answer will be stored in accumulator A. As usual, here also the answer stored in the accumulator will be large enough, exceeding 16-bit. For that purpose, we are storing the exceeded 16-bit, thinking that the sum may be equal to 32-bit. We are storing the 32-bit result in 2 parts with respect to lower part and higher part. The stored value in accumulator, the lower part of the accumulator in one memory location and the higher part of the accumulator in the another memory location. In this case, you can see that we are deviating from the memory location followed with respect to the AR2. We are interested in storing the result in separate memory location. For that purpose, I am making use of this instruction, that is STM hash 500H comma AR3. Here I am storing immediate value 500 to the auxiliary register AR3. Okay. Next, what I am going to do? I am going to store the lower part of the accumulator, that is 16-bit, that is lower part, this is higher part, HL register pair in case of microprocessor. The lower part of the 16-bit result is stored in 500 memory location, 500. After storing post increment operation, that means after storing 500 turns to 501. In 501, what we are going to do? We are going to store the higher part of the result, that is containing in accumulator A. Okay. Then after storing the result in the higher part of the result in 501, the AR3 will be updated to 500. In 502 there is no operation, NOP, and last is end. Like this we can optimize the program. Okay. If one has the proper knowledge of addressing mode and instruction set, anyone can write any type of program without facing any difficulty. With this, let us conclude this session and continue with respect to the interrupts and pipeline operation of TMS processor in the next session. Thank you.